So this is the thing that I'm doing about Lost. I'm going to try and explain as much as I possibly can in as little time as I possibly can. And if you get lost, I think that might be the point. Okay, so there's this plane, Oceanic Flight 8115, Oceanic 815, and it crashes on this mysterious island. Okay, so some of the main characters are, you have Jack, who's the doctor, and you have Kate, who's some sort of, like, she's running from the law. You have Sawyer with the highlights in his hair, and he's supposed to be the bad boy. You have Locke, who used to be in a wheelchair, but he found that on the island he can walk. And then there's Hurley, and he's like, dude, and I won $1 million, or however many frickin' $1 million he has. Okay, and then you have Sun, who's Korean and doesn't speak a word of English, and her husband Jin, and then Michael and his son Walt, and then Charlie, who's a heroin addict, and all these people were on the plane and they crashed. Okay, I also forgot there's also Shannon and her stepbrother Boone, and Saeed, who was in the Republican Guard in Iraq, or you know what? I honestly don't remember. They haven't done a lot of storytelling with him anymore. And then there's Shannon. There's Claire, and she's the pregnant mother waiting to be. That's her hands on her belly. I know it looks maybe a little bit pornographic, but it's not supposed to be. And so all these people were on the plane and they crashed, and they were in the front section of the plane. And they crashed, and they're like, how the heck did we get here? And, like, what's going on? And, like, well, basically, like, what's going on? So Jack's the doctor, and he treats as many of the wounded as he possibly can. And with the help of Kate and so forth, you know, they, like, get things together, and they're trying to, like, make a life on the island. Well, on this mysterious island, forgive my little tree here, you know, and there's like mountains and stuff. Well, anyways, they're down here on the beach, like their plane crashed like right here. Okay, well, out in the jungle out here, there's some kind of like monster, and it's like very scary to them, but they never see it, so you don't even know what it looks like. And at dark time, and like the trees are like falling down and like whatever, and they're like, what's out there? Oh my god. So they figure, let's try and get off of the island by trying to go find the very front of the plane, which is the cockpit. So a few of them go and they find the cockpit, you know, like just like out in, and it's like all wrecked and whatever, and it's like out in the middle of the jungle amongst the trees and whatever, and inside they find the pilot, and he's like, oh my god, no, we're lost. And they're like, no, duh. So the monster like comes, and that's not really looking like a monster, is it? Again, they still don't know what it looks like. I'm drawing a face, and it's not really, but, you know. And the monster comes and attacks, and the pilot is a stupid ass, and he gets out, and he's like, let me see what it is. And then the monster, like, eats him. Sorry about that, the camera dropped. Okay, so the monster eats the pilot, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, like, you know, Jack and Kate, so these are really, really bad. And Charlie went to go find the cockpit, and, you know, they see, like, the pilot's, like, dead up in a tree somewhere, and they're like, what did that, and whatever, and, like, and he's, like, all bloody, and he's, like, really gross. Okay, and then, so they start running, and, Kate and Charlie, like, take off this way, and they leave, like, Jack behind, or he goes this way, I forget, because it's been a while since I've seen the first episode, and, so they're like wondering, like, what should we do? Because they didn't get Jack and they tripped, or I don't know, some crap like that. And needless to say, I'm not going to really go through every freaking detail. Kate was all scared, and she's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because Jack told her that's how you're supposed to get over your fear, or he told her a story about, getting over your fear and counting to 5 and letting the fear in and whatever. Okay, so the whole reason they went to the cockpit was actually to get the transceiver. And so they, oh, that's really bad. They get back to the beach where everyone's just like waiting, and they're like, what happened? What happened? And so they come out of the jungle, and they're like, okay, we have the transceiver, and, oh, God. And Saeed is like, let me see it. I think I will fix it. And so he, tries to fix the little whatever the hell transceiver it is that they got from the jungle. And he's like, well, there's something blocking the signal. We don't know. There's something out there that we can't receive a signal, and so we've got to try and get to higher ground. So they decide, like dumbasses, let's try and hike to the highest possible place that we can get to, so that we can find out what's going on. So they go like up a frickin' mountain and try and get up here so they can use the little transceiver or whatever, and there's like, I forget how many people are there. There's let's see, there's Saeed, and there's Shannon, and there's Boone, and then there's let's see, Kate, and is there Kate and Sawyer? Jesus Christ, how many people are there? And Charlie, and oh, I forgot, like, on the way there, they were, like, out in the jungle and whatever, and, like, a frickin', I don't know how to draw one, a polar bear, like, comes at them, and Sawyer shoots the motherfucker with a gun. Oh, sorry. Shoots it with a gun. And they're like, oh my gosh, what's a polar bear doing in the jungle? That was really bad. Anyways, so they're up there, and they're trying to, like, send a signal, except for there's a signal already coming from some tower that they don't know about. So they're like at the top of the mountain, and they don't see this, of course. And so they're like here. This is like the whole party. And they're trying to listen to the little walkie-talkie. And they're like, there's a signal out there, and it's blocking, and it's like repeating like all these like stupid, numbers and whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And Shannon is like, oh, because it's in French. She's like, I speak French. It killed them. I don't know what it's saying. And she's like crying and whatever. And Charlie's like, guys, where are we? And that's the end of the first episode.